So we want to work on a project, then we are going to push that project to GitHub. Then when we are done, we will now host the same page. So I will create a folder. I can just call it maybe my Git page. Then I will create some files inside it. Okay. So I want to create a file inside that folder. My Git page. So I can call this the that HTML. So I can say a landing page. So I can say welcome to my website. Then we can add an anchor tab to go to the about page, our contact page. Then so we have a page. Let's create these two pages now, the contact page and the about page. So there's the contact page. From the contact page, maybe I want to go back to the landing page. Sorry. Page. Then I'll create the about that HTML. Let's just say H2. So let's say we have these three pages. We have the index page, we have the contact page, and we have the about page. All of them inside our folder. So we can say git bash here to run it, so that we can use Git to manage it. I'll resume it so that we can see everything very well. Git init. So I've initialized Git. Next, Git add call. So I'm adding everything so that I won't add them one after the other. Then Git commit -m. So let's add our commit message. Index page, about page, and contact page added. So I've committed it. Now we are done with the local one. Now next is we want to push this thing online. We want to push it online. So what we are going to do is go to your page, log into github.com. This is my own Git page. Once you log in, it will bring you to this page. Because I'm already logged in, that's why I'm saying this. Like once you are logged in, it's going to bring you to your page. After logging in, go to settings. Settings. Under settings, scroll down to developer setting. Can we see the personal access tokens? It's one of those things we can use. Please, are we together?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's one of those things we can use in our in our next stage. We still proceed more on this, but for now we are going to be using the personal access tokens to push projects to your Git account. Click on personal access token, then now click on generate token. Generate a new token. If you already have one, you don't need to. Okay, it's asking me to type my password. Okay, so generate a new token. This note is like a brief explanation of what you want to use the token for. So I can say for Git class explanation. So this is what I want to use the token for Git class explanation. Then I can set the expiration date. How many days? Well, I can just pick 7 days. After 7 days, I won't be able to use this token again. I won't be able to. Then, since all you want to use it for is to push to these accounts, you can just select this first one and ignore others. Because the more power you give to your token, the more harm people can do with it if they have access to it. Like I said, in the next level, we're going to look at other ways to push here. But this is a very simple way too, and that's why we are going to this route. That is why we are going to this route. But in the next level, we see other ways you can push. But using token is very straightforward. Come generate a token. And when you are done, click on generate. Don't tick any other thing. Because like I said, you are giving access to this token. If you take all of this, it means the token will be able to write packages to your Git account and all of this. So what you want to do is, okay, for instance, if you take this, the token will be able to, anybody that owns this token will be able to delete packages here. So like I said, you don't need to tick all of this to push here. Just click on generate token. So here is the token. You need to write it down. If you don't write it down, you can't write it down again. Like once it's out, that's all. Once I leave this page now, I won't see this token again. So copy it. Just click on this. I've already copied it and paste it at the place that you always have access to it. For instance, I can just paste it maybe in the Word document. So here is my token. Let's go again. Let's go to the process again. Log into your Git account. If you log in, it will bring you to this page. After logging in, then come here, go to settings, then go to developers settings, then click on personal access tokens, then click on generate new token. This is the one I just did for new Git for Git class explanation. But if I want to generate a new one, I can say generate new token. And when you are done using it, you can delete it if you want to. But then I've now generated the token. Like I said, there's no way I can see the token again. That's why I need to copy it somewhere after generating it. Any question to that part?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Please, well, sir. Please, that token that you asked us to copy, of what importance is this for us again?
Okay. Now, what we want to do is we want to push our project from our local Git. Currently, our Git is only on our device. We now want to push it online. And I can't just push, for instance, I can't push from my own account to your own account. This token is a way of authenticating that I'm pushing into my own account, not to another person's account. So when I'm about pushing, I need to use this token to push. Do you get it, sir?
Sir. Yes, sir.
So this token is one that will help us to, it will be the one to help us to know that, oh, this is the account we are pushing to. It's going to request for this token while we are about pushing.
So please, I have a question, sir.
Yes, sir.
So does it now mean that at every point in time that we want to push, we always need token?
Anybody that?
As in, does it now mean that at any point in time that I want to push our work to GitHub, we always need token?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Whenever we want to push, we always need this token. We can use the same token as much as possible once it's within the expiration period.
Okay, who is going to determine the expiration period? Is it me?
Why we wanted to let's generate a new token. Why we wanted to generate a token? It's requested for expiration period. I set it to 7 days. This expiration.
Okay.
Once it's within this, if I set it to 90 days, it means that the token will expire in the next 90 days.
Okay.
So once it's within that expiration period, I can always use it. But then,
okay, I've seen it. Okay.
Remember I said one of those things we are going to use Git for is to collaborate. That is, many developers will be able to work on the project. In that case, you won't be using the access token because it's risky. You can't release your access token to everybody. We are going to be using other things like SSH. When we get to our next stage, we are going to work on that. But for now, the personal access token is a very good, if you are pushing into your own account, if it's for you, then you can easily generate an access token and use it to push. But if it's a public account, let's say I'm working with someone and 20 of us are working together on the same project, then it's very risky for the person to release his or her token for everybody to use. It's risky. But for now, since it's inside my own account, then I can use a token to push here. Do we get it, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's proceed. Remember, we've initialized Git, we've added all, we've committed inside this project. Next is to push it online. Now, we need to go back to our Git account and do something again. Go back to your landing page. I can just come here and go to home, your profile. I can just copy. You need to create something we call repository. You need to create a repository. A repository is like a clone or a folder that GitHub will create for you on their website. Look at something. You want to push this project to Git. A repository is like this folder, my Git page. It's like this folder, but you want to create a copy on github.com. Do we get it? We have this folder offline. We want to create a copy online.
We are following, sir.
Yes. Yes, sir. We are with you.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Okay, let's proceed. So, for each project, we always create a repository. if I want to create another project, I will create a new repository. For each project, we will create a repository for each of them. So let's create our first repository. Create a new repository. Click on this. If you can't find this, you can click on this, new. They do the same thing. You can click on new here, or you click on this one. So let's create a new one together. Next is asking for the name of that repository. I can give it the same name as my offline folder, my Git page. I can just call it my Git page. Now, it's searching if that name is available. What does that mean? If I already have a repository in my account that is called my Git page, then it won't allow me to reuse it. Just the same way, if I have a folder here already called my Git page, Microsoft will not allow me to rename another folder my Git page. Same way also, if I already have a repository in my account called my Git page, then I can't reuse that name. Do we get it?
Yes, sir.
Next, description. You can describe, but this is optional. I can just say Git class explanation. Next is, it's asking me if it's a public repository or a private repository. Now, if it's a private repository, anybody that visits my profile cannot see it. I'm going to give us an example when we are done with this part. But if it's a public repository, then anybody that visits your profile can see it. Like anybody that has the URL to the repository can see it. I can search for it. Anybody can search for it. The way we searched for repositories in our last class. Same way, anybody that visits my profile can see public, but they won't be able to see private. Only me, only myself that own this account can see the private repository or collaborators. In our next stage, we are going to talk about collaborators. But for now, we are going to use a public repository. Anybody that visits our profile can see it. And of course, that's what you want to do for most of your projects, so that employers can see your repositories. Next, don't need to add all of this. We'll talk about Git ignore some other time in our next stage. Just pick public if you want it to be public, but if you want it to be for you alone, just pick private. But I want it to be public. And next, click on create repository. It's loading. Good. We have this page. So let's see what this tells us. It's telling us to run all these commands, but we don't need to, because we've already done that. It's saying that in our local projects, we should first run git init, and we've already done that. It's saying we should add a readme file. A readme file is a file that explains everything in your projects. For now, we won't add it. It's saying we should commit. We've already committed. Now let's discuss this line. Like I said, just ignore all of this. We've done all of this already. Ignore all of this. We've already committed. We've done all of this. Just jump to this place. What's the meaning of this line? Git branch -main -m main. Remember I said something in our last class. I said some of us might see master here instead of main. Yours might be master. It may not be main. If yours is master, then you need to run this line so that it will change the master branch to main. After the class, I will tell us a story of why you may still see master at your end and why it was changed to main. We will discuss that. But if yours is master, then run that command git branch -M main. But if yours is main like I have here, then you don't need to. Now let's now come to this place. Git remote add this, copy this.
Mine is master.
Okay, if it's master, just run this command, sir. Git branch -M main. It's to change the master branch
Okay.
to main. Next.
Okay.
When this
Once
comes-
and for all. Is it once and for all or at every point in time?
it will be at
Do I have
every
to
point.
keep running the command?
It will be at every point. Once you have another project, like for each project, you will
Yeah.
run it once for each project. Well, one thing you can do is, I don't know if it's available under the settings, but what I did is this. When I installed Git, there is a place for you to change the master to main at the point of installation, so that you won't need to keep changing it from master to main. At the point of installation, you can change it from master to main. But if that is not done, then it means for each project, but it will just be once for each project. For each project, you will need to keep changing it to main. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about the story. The reason why we are changing from master to main. You see, before now, everybody used to use master. Everybody. It used to be master. In fact, on GitHub.com, it used to be master. This place on Git also, it used to be master. Until the Black Lives Matter, BLM, Black Lives Matter protest, but it came up, and there was this argument that using master bring back the memory of slaves to master relationship. So because of that, GitHub.com, in a bit to associate with the BLM, decided to change theirs from master to main. And because they are the biggest repository for Git projects, like I said, GitHub is not the only place you can store your projects online, but they are the biggest. So if you want to push to their accounts, to their online stuff now, how do I say it? You can change you now change from master to main. Do we understand now? That's why everything used to be master before the BLM protest. But after the BLM protest, GitHub.com, remember the difference between GitHub and Git. This is Git. Why this is GitHub? This is GitHub. So GitHub.com now decided to change from master to main, and since they own the biggest market, it's affecting us, and well, I think it's a good thing since they are trying to associate with we blacks. Do we understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's why we are changing this from master to main. Next is run this command git remote add. Let's discuss the meaning of this line. I will copy this line and bring it to my projects, and I will explain everything here. Right click on paste. Oh, I didn't copy the G. Let me go to the beginning and write the G. I didn't copy the G. Okay. We want our local accounts, our local Git is called local. Meanwhile, the one online is called remote. This is remote Git. Like you want to push from your local account to your remote account, and that's why we have Git remote. Next, what's the meaning of this add origin URL blah blah blah? Let's discuss this. This URL is the URL to this account, to this repository that we just created. Remember the other time when we wanted to clone, we use this URL to clone it, to clone a project. When we did git clone, then we use this specific URL to clone. This URL is the location of your project. This folder that we created, my Git page, is the location online. So this is the URL. But there's a problem. If you will push there, you always need this URL. If you will do anything, you always need this URL. So instead of writing this URL over and over again, you can give it an alias. The alias we are giving it now is origin. You can give it any alias of your choice, but the convention is to use origin. Convention is just like a common practice, which is not compulsory. But the convention is to use origin, but you can give it anything. What you are just saying is this: whenever I call on origin, I'm referring to this URL. So git remote add, you are adding this origin as part of your alias. So whenever I call on origin, I'm referring to this URL. Do you understand the explanation? So now we won't be calling on this URL again. Once I just call on origin, then it will know that, oh, I'm referring to this URL. Any question? Can we proceed? Do we get the explanation?
Yes.
Okay. Next, remember we copied a token the other time. Well, we need to make some little adjustments to this URL. I think till last year or so, Git allows us to do this directly. It's going to ask for our email and password while trying to do this, but now we can't run this command directly. It's not going to work. We need to use our token now. We want to add our token as part of this URL. How do we go about it? So let's go and copy the token. So I've copied the token now. Now scroll to this place, move your cursor. Let me paste again. Git. I didn't add G. Oh, I need to recopy. I didn't press enter here so that it's not going to add it. It wasn't responding, so I had to terminate it. By pressing Ctrl C, I terminated it. I copy it again. Paste. We want to bring our URL, our token. Around this place, type your username. My username is atomty1. This is my username, atomty1. So type your username here, atomty1. At your own end, to be your own username. Then put a colon. Then copy, paste your token. And add at github.com. I come again. Let me clear everything and write it again. Copy this URL. Paste. Then come here. Type your username. Then colon your access token. Then at github.com. So the beauty of this is that you are doing this once. So when I call on origin, I'm actually calling on this URL. So I don't need to keep doing this over and over again. So I've added it now. It's loading. Okay, so I've added it. Next is I now want to push my project to that URL. So let's go back to this place and copy the last command. Git push origin main. You can remove the -u or not. Git push. Remember, origin refers to this URL. So I can just say git push -u origin main. Like I said, you can remove the -u. Paste. Meaning of this main is you are pushing from your main branch here to the main branch on line 2. Whatever is inside your own main will also be inside the main online. Do we get it? You are pushing from your local main to your remote main. So if I refresh now, I'll see my codes. So, boom, we have this here. We've pushed it. Now, next, we've successfully pushed this online. Next is we want to host this project. We want to host it. How do we go about it? We discussed pushing. Next is to host. Next is under this project. Remember, I'm currently under that project now. This is my username / the project. Click on settings. There's a difference between the settings here. The settings here is the settings of your whole. Why is it hanging? The settings here is the setting of the whole project. Meanwhile, the settings here is the setting of that particular repository. It is particular to this folder, my Git page. So I want to host this particular folder. Click on settings. Then go to pages. It's currently disabled. Change this none to the branch you want to host. I'm hosting the main branch, and of course most time you'll be hosting the main branch. I'm hosting the main branch. Then save it. Okay, so your page should be online. Let's give it some, maybe about a minute or so. I will just refresh this page in about a minute's time, and after that the page should be available online. In fact, I should just refresh this so you're able to share. Just refresh. Coming. Change this back. Just a way to refresh the page instead of waiting and waiting and waiting. I'm just trying to refresh this page. It's going to be available soon. I don't need to do anything. To be available soon, let's just wait a bit. So while we are waiting, let's be doing other things, but we'll just come back here and refresh this page. The page should be available. Okay. So let's discuss what happens. How does it know the page to display? Remember, I have 3 files inside this folder. It will just go to the index.html page. It will go straight. It will look for this file called index.html. That's what it will display on the screen. That's the page it will load. By now, I shouldn't take this long at all. Okay, it's available. Your website is live at this. Just click on this, or you click on visit sites. Boom, there's my page. So I can send this URL to anybody. I can go to the contact page. It will go to the contact page. I can go back to the home page. I can go to the about page. Oh, I did not put anything. Oh, let's now talk about something very important. I didn't put any URL, any link to go back to the home page on the about page. Like, I did not put anything here. So let's say I want to add that also. I want to. All I need to do now is go straight to my local device, add a URL, index.html. I can now say home page. So I've added this. Go straight to this place. Git add about.html. Git commit -m added a URL to. Now, okay, this is well, after hosting it, we realized that I forgot to add a URL to go back to the landing page on the about page. Like, there should be a URL here to go back to the home page, to the index page. So that's what we want to fix now. We want to add a URL on our, remember this is live, this is everybody is seeing this page. I can send this URL to anybody. So we realize that we forgot to add a URL, like a link to go back to just the same. Look at something, sir. Imagine this. On the contact page, there is a URL to go back to the home page. But such URL is not available on the about page. So we want to add it to our application or to our codes so that anybody can now click on that URL to go back to the index page. So that's what we are fixing now. I went back to my codes offline. I added it. After adding it, then we did git add about.html. We are adding it again. I think we discussed this in our last class. After making edits, you add and then you commit. So git added a URL to navigate to the about page to navigate to the home page. So we are committing it. So we successfully committed it. Next, we now want to push these changes online. We want to push it online. Just say git push origin main. Remember, origin refers to this URL that we saved. As long as this token has not expired, this will be successful. You don't need to add a new one. Git push origin main. So I'm pushing it now. It has pushed successfully. So now if I refresh now, I should see it here. Maybe not immediately, but let's give it some few minutes. So maybe we realize that we need to add more codes. You can just go straight to your local repo, add whatever codes you want to add. When you are done, you don't git add the files, git commit, then you push. Now, does it look confusing to us?
No, not at all.
Okay. So let's refresh now. It should be done now. Still not there. But if you just, after a few minutes, it's going to update itself. You won't have to, it's just update itself online. So that is how we can use Git pages to host our application, our pages. So let's say we realize that we need to add another page again. Very simple and straightforward. Come here, you can add a new file. Maybe I can call it, let's just go straight to our to-do.html. Then to-do page. So things to do. I can say let's create our OL. Then inside this we have the li it's, then let's just say sleep. Let's add these two. So when I'm done, I can add the file it's add to do dot html git commit -m to do page creator. Then I can now push it to that URL. Git push origin main. So if you push it again, once I push it, I can now go to that page also. I can go there. So you can refresh this now. Should I add the URL? Good. Can we see the URL for the home page now? Now I can go to the home page. I can go to the about page, then go back to the home page, go to the contact page, go back to the home page. I think there is a little thing. There should be like a link here to go to the to-do page from the home page. There should be like a link to go to the to-do page. So I'll just add that again. So let's go to the place and just copy this. This is why I'm repeating it. I want us to get so used to it. That's why I'm just repeating this. So we've created this, added this link. So you can now git index.html. Git commit -n to do link added to the index page. So I can now push git push origin bin. So that has been pushed online. So in a few minutes time, that will be available online. Now we've been pushing from main to main. Let's say we have a branch. Remember we discussed branching in our last class. Branching allows us to experiment. So let's just create a branch. Git branch. Then the name of the branch, let's just call it test. So I created a branch called test. Git checkout test. So I'm checking out to test. I can add whatever code I want to add in this test. Let's just say I just added tests alone. Once this. Oh, sorry. Once this. So I will commit this inside test. Git add index.html. Git commit -n. So I'll say maybe test codes added to index.html. So I've committed, but note that this commit is only inside the test page, it's not in the main. So if I want to push this test online too, you can first check out to the main branch if you want to. This time around, you're not going to say git push origin. Instead of main now, you now say origin. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. Check out to the test. Git checkout. I shouldn't have checked out of the test. Git checkout test. So I'm currently inside test. You now say git push origin test. So it's going to push everything inside this test to the remote test. Do you understand? It will push from your local test also to the remote test. Instantly, it will create a test online and it will push it from your local test to the remote test. But you are not going to see the codes inside this test online. You won't. Look at something. I'm pushing from my local test to the remote test. I will push it now and it will be successful. When it's done, we go online and see something. So I've pushed it now. But remember, I didn't merge it, meaning that the main does not have it. So when I go online and I go here, remember we selected something here. I will refresh this page. We selected something here that I should display the main branch. So it's displaying the content of the main branch. If I select test, then it will display the content of the test branch. But currently, it's displaying the content of the main branch, and that's why it's not going to. You are not going to see these new codes added. This line online. Do we understand it? You won't see it on this page after checking it here. You won't. You can see this because this was done inside the main, but you won't see this line. Test alone owns this. You won't, except if we now change this to tests and save it, then we can now see it here. So it has saved, and when we now come here, you can see it now. If it has updated, it is yet to update it. In few minutes time, it will update it because we've changed this from main to test. If you change it back to main, you won't see it. But that doesn't mean the test is not in your repo. It's in your repo, just that it's not displaying it to visitors of your page, but it's still in your Git account. In fact, if I go back to repository, if I go to repositories, your repositories, you will see it there. My Git page. Click on Git. So we are currently on the main branch. I can switch to the test branch, and you will see the commits there. So here is the test one. One committed ahead of main. It's telling me that it's ahead of the main branch. I added the URL to, okay, test code added to the index.html, but this will not be available in main. If I go to main, you won't see this test code available. As you can see, there is no test codes there. That's because this is the main. So currently now, we are displaying the content of the tests for users to see. But if I switch this back to, if I come here and I change it back to main, then you won't see that line. Any question? We are landing off already. Any question? Any question? Let's summarize everything.
I have a question, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, my question is this. If we are to push from our local, how would I put it now? Want to move all our projects to GitHub.
Yes, sir.
Now, the question is, are we going to be moving all the files? You know, there was an assignment you gave us some time ago where we created contact details. Do you want to visit me? Do you want to read more about me? Visit this, visit that. Are we going to be moving all the files we created to GitHub, or we are just moving just to the how do I put it now? The index page. Maybe on the index page, then they will be able to visit other places. So we are moving every file we created to GitHub.
Okay. This is it, sir. If we don't move some files, the files will not be available online. For instance, let's say our Ludo game. If you refuse to
including the picture.
So if you refuse to add those pictures, when they get online, when visitors visit our page, they won't see those pictures also. They won't, because it's not on GitHub. If I didn't add them, if I didn't say git add the name of that's why you can just on git add full stop to add everything instead of adding them one after the other.
Everything. Okay, sir.
It's not going to be available. Then I think in the maybe third stage we are going to be looking at some other things like git ignore. Git ignore will allow you to intentionally ignore some files, because at that point, if you're looking at security, there are some codes that you don't want visitors of your page or even those people that have access to your Git account to see. You're going to see how to intentionally ignore some files. But I don't want to, Git is very wide, like it's right. We have a lot of things to learn there, but we are taking it bits by bit, those things that we need part time. For now, I don't think there should be any issue adding all our files or pushing all our files online. There's no security threats. But as time goes on, there will be some security threats. There will be some, especially if you are dealing with backend or there are some things you want to keep from users of your page, and we're going to see how to ignore those files so that if you won't be, you can't mistakenly push them. You can't, so that you won't even mistakenly, because it's possible for you to have forgotten. You can just on git add full stop and add it unknowingly. So when we get there, we're going to see what we can do so that we won't even mistakenly push them online. Do we get it, sir?
Yeah. If you want to make any adjustments in our folders, the one on our local machines, do we need to pull it from the GitHub and make the adjustment, add it, commit, and push it back to the GitHub.
Okay, if you want to, that's why I made some changes so that we see how to go about it. If you want to make some adjustments, just go to your code and write it. Since what you have in your local machine is the same as what you have online. For instance, I've already pushed these codes online. So that means what I have in my local machine is the same as what I have in my remote machine. They are the same. So all I need to do is just to go to my local machine and add new codes. After adding, run git add the name of the file you edited, just like we did here. If I have not cleared this, git add the name of the file, git commit to explain what you just did. Then when you are done, you can now push git push origin, then the branch you want to push to. But most time you'll be pushing to main branch, except if maybe you want to test some things, then you can now create some other branches like that. So git push origin, then the name of the branch you want to push to. So just open your local machine, add some codes, then push it online. Do you get it?
Okay.
Then in our subsequent levels, we're going to be looking at some other interesting things, because maybe imagine I'm working for a bank and I received a call that I'm working as a backend developer of the bank, and I just received a call that people are having problems. Maybe I'm in a wedding ceremony, celebrating a friend's wedding, and I just received a call. Taiwo, we're having problem. What do I do? So I can just, of course, you don't expect me to go with my laptop to such place. Meaning that my codes, the codes here, they are not, I don't have them. So I can just go straight to my Git repo and edit things if it's something I can edit, or get someone's device to do that. I can just come here and edit codes directly. You can edit codes directly on github.com, but it's not something you are going to be doing often, but some circumstances might warrant that you do that. So we're going to look at how to do all of this in our subsequent classes. But then I don't think you have anything, except if your system is not available with you at that point and there's an urgent thing to do. That's what will warrant you to come online and edit it directly. But most times, and at least as much as I know, most times you'll be doing those things locally, then push remotely, so that the one on your system will be at the same level with the one online. But it's possible for you to edit directly online. It's possible. Any question?
So if we update directly online, is it mandatory for us to go into our local machine and do the adjustment so that it could be in line with what we have online?
Okay, in that case, that's one of those things we'll be doing later. You can see this thing called pull requests. When we start collaborating, we are going to go deeper into that part. It's not that you will now go to your local machine and start updating. No, you will just cite a command, and the command will go online and fetch it and match them together, so that your local machine will now be at the same level with your remote machine, with the one you have online. Just press it. Once you're going to, at that point, we just press some commands and it will just go online, fetch it itself and match them together, so that you won't have to write the same thing locally again. Do we get it?
Yeah.
Okay. Git is interesting, but it can be overwhelming. Yes, Git can be overwhelming if you take it too much, especially if you are not using it often. For instance, you only be using very few of the commands: git add, git commit, and git push. Those are and maybe sometimes git log. Those are those things you'll be using often, but most of other ones you won't be using them often. So it can be overwhelming, thinking everything at this stage, just bombarding you with all of them. But let's take it step by step. Next stage we'll look at some other ones again. Next stage we're going to be looking at them as we need them, as we require them. But then I think what we've looked at so far is cool. We looked at so summary of Git. We are done with Git already, at least for this stage. We looked at how to how to config, git config, then how to initialize by running git init, then how to add, git add, how to commit, git commit. I think someone wants to join the class. How to commit, git commit, then how to log, git log which shows the information. Then we also looked at how to push your project online. To push it online, you create a repository first. After creating an online repository, then you can now push it to online. Now, I talked about private and public repository. I have some private repos here.
Sorry, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, sir. To push online, are we going to create repository first? I thought we had to create what's the code? There was a code that we created first, then before creating repository.
No.
What? There's a name you called it.
Is it access token?
Yeah, access token. Yes, access token.
Okay. If I want to push again, I don't need to recreate.
Is that not the first step if we are moving our projects online?
Oh, this access token, if I want to push another project, I don't need to recreate it. Let's say I have another project now. Let me just come here. Let's do it again. Let's repeat the whole process again. I just call this second git. I just call this second git, and I will create some files inside the second git. I will close all of this. So let's create a new file and take it straight to second git. I just create a single file there. I'll call it index.html. So landing page. Hello world. So we just have this. Then I will close this one since we then this time around I'll go back here and say git bash here. Zoom. Then git init. Git add index.html since I only have a file there. Git commit -n index file added. So I've committed it. Now I want to push it online. I'll go online now and create a new repository online. I can go to my landing page, repositories. There should be a button here to create new. Just click on new. So I'm creating a new repository. The name of it, I call it second git also. Then public, click on create repository. So I've created this repository. Like I said, I don't need to do all of this again. I will just jump straight to this part. Just copy this. Then come here, paste. Now my code, I'll just come here and say my username, then colon my code. So I don't need to recreate this token again, this access token. Sorry, someone wants to join the class.
Okay.
So I don't need to recreate it since it's within the 7 days.
Yeah. It has not expired.
Yes. So
Okay, I understand now.
paste it here. Then I'll say that's. So next I'll just say git push origin master and git push origin main. So to push it online. So I can now refresh this place and the code should be there now. So there's it. So if I want to host it, I'll go to settings. I want to host it with Git. You can choose not to host it with Git. I click on pages. Then we only have one branch, which is the main branch. Then save it. After a few minutes, this takes some time. After a few minutes, the page should be available for everybody to see. Any question? So we are done with the Git for this level. I'm done with my section of training for level 1. We're going to meet again in the second stage. Another instructor will be the one to take us from this part. The instructor coming in will take us CSS and Bootstrap. It's very good. It's very, very, very good. So you will really enjoy him. We feel with him, and I can bet you that you enjoy your moments, your sessions. If at all, will be meeting with us again, maybe just to round up the whole level with us. And for now, I'm not with my class with us. And okay, someone is setting up, and I'm missing us already. I'm missing us. Thank you very much for making it interesting. I think he wants to ask a question. I'm trying to allow.
Can I see have a question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. At what point do we merge the branch with the main?
Okay, after testing it and we feel it's okay and it can go online, if you feel it's now safe for people to use and everything, then we can now merge them together. The end of the branch is to allow us to test things as much as possible before merging it with me. Because remember, what we are displaying on the screen here is the main branch. So if there is any bug there, if it's not well tested, then users of your page will automatically see it. Do we get it? Remember, when hosting it here, we are hosting the main branch. So if there is any bug, it will automatically fetch it and display it on the page. So you want to test everything very well before displaying it to your users so that they won't complain and it's not going to break things. Imagine it's a financial, maybe a fintech app and things like that. You can cause a lot of problem. So that's why you want to be sure that everything is fine before displaying it online. Do we get it?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So we are done. Thank you very much. We meet some.
Any assignment?
Okay, our assignment. Please push all your projects to Git. All your projects, push them to Git. Then send your Git report to me, so that I'll be able to go to our projects and see them one after the other. I want to go to our projects and see them one after the other. Oh, then before you go, look at the implication of making a repo private. Look at the implication. If a repo is private, like I said, people will not be able to search for it. And I'll give you an instance. I'll go straight to my repo and show you some, maybe a private repo. Here's my, let's go to other repositories. Although most of my repositories are public, I think few of them are private. Okay, this is a private repo, and this is it. github.com/my username / the name of the repository. This is it. How we copy it and log out now. Sign out. If any other person, since I'm not logged into my account, if any other person tries to visit this page, it tell you it doesn't exist. It's loading. Just tell you such page does not exist. Like it's not even saying it at all. I need to log in to view it. So the same way also, if anybody searches for it.
Sorry, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, sir. What is the process of sending a repository to you?
Of sending, okay, your repository to me. Just copy your github.com/your username. Send the username. Once you send your username,
okay,
I'll be able to see all your public repositories. Like, don't send the projects one after the other. Just the username, github.com. Notice a particular repository, github.com/username/ the repository. This is the name of the repository. Template is the name of the repository in my account. So I can say GitHub, for instance, if I want to see this project that we just created, I can say github.com/my username / second git. Let's do that. Oh, sorry. / second git. So I can see that project, even though I'm not logged in. I can see it.
So we are sending the link to you on WhatsApp or where?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Just send this alone. github.com/your username. I'll be able to see all your public repositories. If I go to my account now, you can see all my public repositories. All of them. So
Okay.
46 are public. I think 4 are private. So, any question? Do we enjoy the moments together? Do you have questions? You can also follow me on my Git account. You can follow me if you want to. Alright, I feel like not leaving. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's a wonderful time with you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
yes. Thank
Thanks.
you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.